Hey guys, what's going on? Whew, it's a hot day, but I'm gonna try to get through this because been having a very busy day today. So we can talk about these because I've been looking at the charts, just didn't have time to film it. Unfortunately, I was just doing some other things. So we can see on the DXY that we are looking at the short position. We are pretty much broken below, and it seems like we're forming correction. I wouldn't completely get sold on this just yet until it's fully developed, but we can still get that push back up and price to continue. This does look like it could, and it is formulating some sort of correction in this area, but I don't think I'll be looking for something just like this just yet. I don't think, even drawing some stuff like that is worth it. I think let's look for something clear, something nice, let it develop, let it show its real cards, and then we'll be looking for the entry. It could be something like this where it pushes up, comes back down, pushes back up, pushes down, push up, and then we see something like that. Yeah, we could entertain that for sure, and then understand that this is the correction to go lower. But this is the sort of area where people get caught out on the wrong side of the market, and for that's the reason why I'm looking for this. JP225, I am looking at this as well to see if this correction now is going to be a continuation to the downside. It was the potential retest. That impulse away was a good sign, honestly, very good sign for positioning to the scheme of things. So we'll see how that moves. USD JPY, still looking for a larger correction as we're coming off that inflection point. Just want to see how that bounces. But if we do get a pullback and it starts moving aggressively to the upside, we'll take a message from the market and move forward from there. But at the moment, still just waiting patient, need to just see how this develops. Swiss yen. Now honestly, Swiss yen just needs a bit of time. We've come back and retested the high. Interesting. How do we close on the daily is very important because we have moved up there quite aggressively. We just need to understand what's happening in the larger scheme of things. We're not ready to sell off just yet, and we just need to give it some time. But this mini double top M star sort of style, this is interesting. We want to go to the lower time frame now and just kind of see if we do get some pattern within a pattern sort of situation. If we get something like this, that could be interesting, where we get that, pushes up, goes up, and then we sell off and break impulsively. First continuation flag below that, I'm all in. Understand that it would make sense for it to have it in this area, and yeah, and then we just kind of just look for it to continue to the downside, and that's basically what I'm looking for there. New Zealand yen, I'd say a little bit similar to that. I mean, it's a little bit of a tricky one because this still has the possibility of coming back up here. We understand that. I do like this a lot, honestly. I'm waiting to see if we do come back up here to this zone, and then I want to see if we do come back down. Sell, but it's not my typical sort of price action at this point. From here, it made sense for a correction to be larger to continue to the downside, but because we're not seeing that and it's coming back up, we now have to just wait and evaluate and take a message from the market. EJ, wow, I like EJ a lot. Honestly, I knew this was going to go long because I was evaluating the price yesterday. I just couldn't quite size in an entry, but today we actually managed to get that momentum to the upside, and I was really looking at this bit of price over here to just see if there was an entry, and I couldn't quite squeeze anything in, and it just kind of had all this messiness. But overall context of things, it did move quite good, and it looks pretty good. I mean, in terms of movement, if we look at this on a size, what we moved around about, yeah, good, easily 1900, yeah, about 20 odd pips there. Yeah, decent. I mean, not 20, 200 pips, so it's pretty good. And we'll see that next one, Aussie New Zealand. So we're coming back into this low, which is quite a good sign. We came in quite correctively as well, so now I'm interested to see if we do get a push away, a flag, and we start making it back up to the high, or do we just continue to sell off? More than likely, I am looking to just understand what this price pattern could be. If we do get something like that, okay, cool, we'll have to wait and see. Nice to invert and see what it looks like on that side. What could we be trading into? Where could we be going market direction wise? At the moment, it's quite messy. I'm happy to stay away from this one. The next one I'm looking at is GBP Aussie. There isn't quite a trade there, no trade at the moment. We pushed above, good sign, but not the best sign. Breaking above, are we going to get that retrace candle now? That's where the interesting thing is. There was a little bit of liquidity sitting up here, so maybe we just smash that one out the water, and then we come down to the low. This is the area of interest though, so looking at it on the hourly, I would be looking to just see how this develops now, but given the time and the day, because it's Friday, most probably wait for an insurance entry for next week given the RO3. Wildcards, Aussie US dollar, didn't quite smash through that just yet, so I think this still has a bit of room to maybe correct, create a bit of momentum and push through this, push up, maybe get the momentum to get to this point up here. And I'll just quickly zoom out on the daily so you can see that, and we'll see how that goes. But because it's very impulsive at this point, I'm not going to be looking for an entry immediately. I'll wait to take a message from the market, but we can still sell off from here because it is only a few pips away. But more than likely I will be looking for an insurance entry and maybe even the push to get the momentum up here, just to feel the 1 2 3, get the extension. The next one I'm looking at is EuroCAD, and EuroCAD is basically just coming into this sort of inflection. Well, it's actually broken through the liquidity area here, so it's more than likely we're coming up to the high again. And when we do get to the high, I will be looking for an insurance sort of entry, depending if we get some structured approach. But it is coming into this point here, and this is where I will be paying my attention to see the entry. So that could certainly be a good one for next week. USD Swiss, we're selling off, continuing to push lower at the moment. It is what it is, man. Let it do its thing. Is there any entries on it? Well, yeah, possibly this is correct. Create some sort of structure in here, and you could look to take that short, to take that move into the low. However, more than likely I am looking for the long position on the DXY counter on the Euro USD. So for that reason, I'm not going to get scaled into USD Swiss just yet. It could be a nice trade, but more than likely I'm going to be waiting for that potential pushback up, a flag, and let's go. But on Euro USD. Euro GBP, whew, I'm sweating. Euro GBP, I'm waiting for the expansion to get to the top over here. Once we get up here, I'll evaluate to see how we react to this liquidity point, understanding there is some small liquidity sitting above it, but more than likely I'm looking at this pattern and this liquidity point here. Do we push in, tap into that, push back down, get an insurance entry, and we're in for the sell? It would be an insurance entry all day, even with a structured approach. GBP New Zealand, last but not least, I think this one I just need to give it more time. It's probably not going to be on watch next week. We did get impulsive push down. It's just it's one of them ones where I didn't quite get that clean move that I'm looking for. If we impulse and smash through this and start creating continuation down here, okay, cool, then I can evaluate it then. But at this point here, I was looking for it to tap into this sort of liquidity area here, but this 1 2 3 is more than enough. We had the mini double top over here, and understanding that okay, we didn't get the 1 2 3, but we came in for the mini double top. We impulsively pushed away and now we're creating continuation to the downside. So this makes sense, but the only negative compliments is we're sitting just under this little bit of inflection and this little bit here. If we break below this, I'll be more inclined to look for the short position, because this can still have room to become something larger. And the best trade I've got at the moment is Euro USD. Not quite ready just yet, still waiting. We've approached with a 1 2 3 structured approach on the higher time frame. On the lower time frame, it was very impulsive, hence the reason why I'm more than happy to stay out of this and wait for a massive push back in, correction, and back in for the short. And that would be the entry. I am looking for the highest probability trade there, but if we miss that, we'll look for the next one, because there could be time and time after, entry after entry after entry. And I think this one will present a lot of entry. I can't really enforce my sort of bias on this, but I don't think it'll be the type of trade that just drops off and you don't get any entries. I think there'll be an abundance of opportunity on this one. And last but not least is gold. Gold had a massive push through. There was a false little sort of push here, and then we had the news come out, CPI and whatnot, pushed price up, and now we've actually created that push up in a correction. This actually could be a very nice correction to take us to the upside. So this is something that I would pay some level of attention to, where we've actually impulsed up, created this correction, and now we might even just continue having a similar leg to this. And this is something that I'm kind of looking for, flagpole situation, and then we start making it to these sort of liquidity areas before we start making our next one. So that's pretty much the go-to, but it's more sort of a mistrade for most people at this point. So overall, that's basically what I've got on watch. I had to kind of make this one a little bit quick, and I know I did speak a little fast, so you can probably zoom my voice down a little bit if I did speak too fast. But boy, oh boy, I'm sweating. I'm about to hit the beach. I'm gonna get my beach wave on, get some I just had a shower, probably gonna have another shower. I'm just sweating like crazy. But yeah, guys, have a good week, have a good Sunday, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.